Philip Pietrus was a licensed funeral director who owned 4 funeral homes across Connecticut in Coventry, Vernon, East Windsor, and Tolland. Families trusted him with their most sacred final wishes, and according to prosecutors, he repaid that trust by stealing nearly $1 million from grieving families and gambling away more than $11 million at casinos across the Northeast. Before he was done, he had defrauded at least 179 victims, many of them elderly, some disabled, and one of them his own 86-year-old relative. When families prepay for a funeral, they're doing something deeply personal. They're trying to spare their loved ones from the burden of planning and paying during the worst moments of their lives. Connecticut law is crystal clear about what happens to that money. It goes into an escrow account managed by a trust company where it sits untouched until the day it's needed. Pietrus knew this law inside and out. He'd spent years as a licensed funeral director. He understood exactly what he was supposed to do, and he chose to do the opposite. According to prosecutors, he took families' checks, skipped the escrow accounts entirely, and funneled the money straight into his personal accounts. His employees later told law enforcement that it was common practice for prepaid arrangement checks to be handed directly to Pietrus himself. He controlled everything, kept the trust records away from his staff, and made sure nobody else had access. Nobody else could see what was really happening with the money. And what was happening with the money was extraordinary. Over roughly 14 years, Pietrus wagered more than $8 million at Foxwoods Resort Casino alone. At MGM Springfield in Massachusetts, his slot machine activity totaled over $8.5 million across 7 years. At Mohegan Sun, he lost more than $1.2 million between 2010 and late 2024. His estranged wife, Jessica Pietrus, ran up over $535,000 at MGM Springfield on her own. Between the two of them, the couple burned through more than $11 million at regional casinos, primarily on slot machines, with additional online gambling through DraftKings and FanDuel. The spending didn't stop at the casino floor. Detectives documented what they described as countless expenses on restaurants, shopping sprees, plane tickets, hotel stays, large alcohol purchases, and a Norwegian cruise. Former employees recalled holiday gatherings that included trips to Foxwoods, where Pietrus spent considerable time in areas reserved for high-stakes bets. He frequented the Borgata in Atlantic City, Harrah's, and even Hard Rock Las Vegas before it closed in 2020. Court records paint the picture of a man living a high-roller lifestyle while the families who trusted him had no idea their funeral funds had vanished. Back in Connecticut, he was allegedly living inside his own funeral home in Coventry, a possible violation of health and zoning laws. One worker said he let family members stay at the East Windsor location too. The whole scheme began to unravel in October of 2024. And it happened because of one vigilant third party. A company that oversaw finances for disabled individuals noticed that payments linked to the Coventry Funeral Home weren't where they were supposed to be. That single red flag triggered a broader investigation, and what investigators found was a pattern of missing deposits and unauthorized withdrawals affecting dozens upon dozens of clients. On April 6, 2025, Pietrus was arrested for the first time on a first-degree larceny charge related to embezzlement. When police questioned him, he blamed the discrepancies on accounting problems, misfiled checks, the COVID-19 pandemic, and what he called human error. He told detectives he wasn't trying to defraud anyone and that he would make things right. When asked if it was common for him to use business accounts to fund personal expenses, his answer was remarkably casual. "Not really," he said, "but it might be the card I had available at the time." The charges kept mounting after that. By May 2025, the Connecticut Department of Health had suspended his license. In July, his embalmer's license was fully revoked. By September, police across multiple jurisdictions had filed more than 80 charges against him, including larceny and intent to defraud. He turned himself in on November 25th to face charges involving 31 additional victims. Prosecutors identified at least 31 victims over the age of 60, with contracts dating back to 2011 at Tolland Memorial Home alone. Police were unable to locate more than $300,000 in victim funds that had never been deposited into escrow. The human cost of this fraud is staggering. Sheila Lawler lost $6,000. Ernie Ellis lost $12,000. Carrie Oresco and Allison Green were out more than $20,000 combined. Green's mother had prepaid more than $10,000 for her funeral arrangements, money that was supposed to buy peace of mind. When you prepay, you're thinking that you're going to have peace of mind and that they're going to do the right thing with your money, Green said. And the fact that he did that is just despicable. Lieutenant Robert Mara of the Vernon Police Department put it plainly. The trust is gone. They have been a staple of the town of Vernon for a long time. What made the situation even more frustrating for victims was the discovery that there was essentially nothing to recover. State Representative Tammy Nuccio revealed that after his arrest, Pietrus had only $14,000 in assets. He had been leasing the funeral home buildings, not owning them. There's nothing for anybody to go after to get any kind of reconciliation, Nuccio said. And here's the detail that really exposes how broken the oversight system was. Nuccio discovered that no state agency actually oversaw prepaid funeral home contracts in Connecticut. There was a regulatory gap so wide that a man could steal from nearly 200 people over more than a decade without a single government body catching it. Pietrus's defense attorney noted that, to the best of his knowledge, no client who had prepaid was actually denied service. But that argument misses the point entirely. The money was gone. The trust was shattered. And the families who thought they'd taken care of everything were left scrambling. In March of 2026, victims testified publicly about what Pietrus had done to them. Their stories moved lawmakers to act. By May 2026, the Connecticut legislature approved a $1 million funeral fraud compensation fund as part of the state budget. Victims can receive up to $10,000 each, with payments expected to begin in July 2027. The law also establishes a 12-member working group to overhaul oversight of prepaid funeral contracts, with representatives from public health, consumer protection, banking, and insurance. Not everyone sees the fund as justice, though. Carrie Oresco voiced what many victims feel. All the victims and advocates have wanted all along is for Mr. Pietrus to be responsible for his crimes. Thinking that the state of Connecticut is funding this bill, that's not putting responsibility on him. She's not wrong. The compensation fund is taxpayer money. And for victims like Green's mother, who prepaid more than $10,000, a $10,000 cap still leaves them short. There's one more detail that says everything about the kind of man Philip Pietrus was. He claimed on his funeral home website that he was a proud member of the Connecticut Funeral Directors Association. The CFDA confirmed he was never a member. Even that was a lie. Tom Tierney, a fellow funeral director, donated $10,000 to help victims and reminded the public of something worth remembering. This is an industry full of good, hard-working, decent people that want to take care of families in their time of need. It's so easy for a bad actor to catch the spotlight. He's right. But Philip Pietrus wasn't just a bad actor. According to prosecutors, he was a man who took money meant for coffins and caskets and headstones and final goodbyes and fed it into slot machines. More than $11 million gone. Nearly 200 families betrayed. And a community left to wonder how it went on for so long without anyone noticing. The case is still ongoing, with no trial verdict reached. But whatever happens in court, the damage is already done. The trust, as Lieutenant Mara said, is gone.